Are you feeling like the more you consume self-help content, the more stuck you get, the more it feels like it feeds into your negative self-talk? Well, today I have a Reddit post that I recently read that got me thinking about this. I'm going to share that Reddit post, and I'm also going to share what it was that came up for me after reading the post. Hi there. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. My name is Raquel Perez, and I am a licensed professional counselor in the state of Colorado. This is where I share stories, resources, and other tools to help create safety for insight. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel down below. I also have a free gift if you stay with me through to the end. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with today's story. And the title for today's story is The Dark Side of Self-Improvement. Are you actually growing or just stuck? We all love the idea of self-improvement. Reading books, journaling, therapy, mindfulness, all of that. And yeah, it's important. But I've also started noticing this pattern, both in people around me and even in myself at times. There's this trap where self-improvement becomes just another way to feel like you're not enough. Like instead of actually growing, you're just constantly chasing some better version of yourself that never arrives. You read the next book, start the next habit, listen to another podcast, but deep down, you still feel like you're running from something. The craziest part, the more you chase self-improvement, the more it reinforces the idea that you need fixing, that there's something fundamentally wrong with you that needs to be worked on. So instead of feeling better, you end up feeling stuck in this cycle of, I'm not quite there yet. I see this a lot with people who get addicted to self-help content, but never actually apply it. Like, they'll read 10 books on emotional intelligence, but still struggle with the same issues. Because at some point, self-improvement stops being about real growth and starts becoming a distraction from actually doing the work, which, let's be real, is usually uncomfortable as hell. So that's all for the story. What is it that's coming up for you? Do you agree or disagree with the author? Are there parts of the author's story that resonate or land with you? If there are, or there's something that's coming up for you, I'd love to hear more about that. So go ahead and drop it down in the comments below and get in on the conversation too. As far as for me, there are two primary things that are coming up, and that is acceptance and safety for insight. So let's start with the first one, acceptance. In the story, the author describes how consuming the self-help content is reinforcing for them the idea that they are not enough, the idea that there is something fundamentally wrong with them that needs to be fixed, and also this idea that they're chasing some better version of themselves that never really seems like it arrives. In my opinion, there's something magical that happens when we accept where we are on our healing journey, when we accept all the parts of us, including those parts that cause pain. Because when we actually accept those parts of us that create pain, those parts of us that feel so raw, we begin to see that really there isn't any part of us that needs to be fixed. There isn't any part of us that's broken. There are parts of us that need attention, that need compassion, and that need healing. We'll also find that those same parts of us that hurt, that those same parts of us that are raw, have actually had some use in them throughout our lives. Now, let me provide a small example of my own personal story to provide context to what it is that I am talking about. I've been pretty open about my struggle with depression. My struggle with depression oftentimes led me to feeling like I was lazy, like I needed to fix my depression, get rid of my depression, because it was some part of me that was bad, it was some part of me that was wrong, and it was some part of me that was broken. But when I actually started to really sit with the symptoms of my depression and connect where those came from, I was able to realize that not only had my depression provided aid for me when I needed it, it allowed me to become small in situations when I was so young that I couldn't tolerate what was happening around me, to blend into the background, to depress my feelings and my mood. That helped me then. It also began to create in me a part of me, a big part of me, that is very compassionate and very empathetic. And that compassion and that empathy has allowed me to develop incredibly strong relationships with those around me. And so that brings me to my second insight, and that is the need for safety to be able to gain insight from those very rawest and hardest parts of us. Because it makes sense that if we are facing up against parts of us that hurt, part of us that are raw, our bodies are naturally going to want to pull away from that space. And that makes sense because it hurts. So creating safety for insight is absolutely essential on our healing journeys. And this safety is emotional, it's physical, and it's psychological safety that is needed to really embark on those insightful and healing journeys. So I invite you to find ways to create that space for safety that your body needs to truly dig into the self-help literature, dig into the self-help content that it is that you think will allow you to gain perspective and to gain insight during your healing journey. Well, my friend, that's all I have for this video. If you have found it useful or helpful in any way, please hit that like button down below. If you are interested in getting more content like it on a weekly basis, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're ready to begin to create that safe space for your own insight, please check out the description and download your very own free 15-page booklet that has an outline and a guide exactly on how to create that safe space. If you're also ready to continue your journey and open up to an affirmation meditation, I have this affirmation meditation ready to go so that you can start to open up space for self-acceptance and self-worth. Well, my friend, until next time, bye for now.